nobody told you as of yet today, I love you. If nobody told you as of yet today, I am proud of you. You're going to continue to achieve anything you set out to do. You understand me? Also, you already know, I do have to give you that brief disclaimer. I only want you to take what resonates, and I want you to leave the rest behind, all right? I don't want you trying to force certain scenarios for you. If you don't get your confirmation through me, I guarantee you're going to get it through somebody else, so be patient with your process, all right? Also, y'all already know that voice too raspy to be whispering. So this about the time that you probably want to go ahead and hit that volume, all right? Now, in advance, I want to thank you so much for all y'all's love, all y'all's likes, your shares, your subscribes, your gifts. I appreciate you. Know that I'm sending all that love, light, abundance, and prosperity back to you too, all right? Now, let's jump in, chosen ones. So I had to ask you how you feeling, because there's a shift of energy that's currently occurring. You understand me? So a lot of you have been challenged. And when I say that, because something that you felt like you was over, something that you thought that you had gotten through, has represented itself to you. Now God is testing you to see what you about to do. See, when I say this, chosen ones, there was an individual, there was a position, there was a so on and so forth, whether or not that was business, a relationship, a friendship, so on and so forth. There was somebody that you was connected to, that while you was connected to them, they ain't show no love, light, and abundance to you. They ain't show no appreciation to you too. These people, again, they may have belittled you, they may have abused you, misused you, so on and so forth, right? So what did you have to do? You went to God, you went within. You started healing yourself to see why you even accepted certain people like them. You understand me? So as you start to have certain things revealed to you, you started to realize that those individuals didn't truly love you for you. They didn't think about what was better for you. They were selfish. You understand? So as you started to distance yourself from them, again, whether or not this is a person, a relationship, a friendship, a business, so on and so forth, you started to create that distance, right? And you started to feel yourself again. See, some of y'all was feeling yourself for the first time ever, because that's something that you never experienced. You started getting your confidence up. You start sitting there pursuing certain passions, certain purpose. You start being social again. You started buying certain things for yourself, because for so long you was the one going out without certain things. See, chosen ones, I want you to realize that certain tests are starting to present themselves again. See, I want you to realize why it's happening. See, when you sacrificed all that shady and so-so stuff, so when you no longer was connected to people who didn't love you, when you no longer was entertaining individuals that was trying to down you, people that was clowning you, certain people that belittled you, so on and so forth, even certain people that, again, try to misguide you. They try to lead you on in a sense to try to persuade you to still stay connected to them, knowing that they had no ability to play that position, no intentions either, right? So you started to get yourself built up, chosen ones. You started seeing money start to come back quicker. You started to feel confident in yourself. You started accepting your figure. You started hyping yourself up. You started accepting certain compliments too. You started feeling so positive about all of these things that was starting to transpire for you, right? See, when you was back then, when you was connected to those people, that position, that way of thinking, so on and so forth, you didn't view you positive. You didn't give yourself love. You wasn't acknowledging it, but you was acknowledging that the person that you was connected to, whether or not that was a person that you was in a relationship with, friendship, a job position to, you was acknowledging that they wasn't acknowledging you, but you wasn't acknowledging you either, chosen ones. You understand me? So I want you to realize this. Certain tests are starting to get presented again, because you finally closed out certain karmic cycles. That karmic cycle has come to an end. What do I mean when I say that? See, there's certain people that when you started initially getting cool with them, pursuing them in a relationship, or even working for them, you didn't even know you when you knew these individuals. You didn't even feel confident about you when you was around these individuals. You needed them to give you some type of validity, some type of acknowledgement. You wanted to, again, have them acknowledge certain things that you were starting to do as far as prospering. You needed that attention at that point in time, chosen one. See, when you started to give it to yourself, when you started investing in your mental health, your physical, your physique, you understand me? When you started aligning in the path that you were supposed to be in, you started to see certain things start to form for you, correct? Again, I want you to realize why I'm saying this, chosen ones, because you getting presented with that same test again. See, some of y'all feel like you failed it. Because that person from the past may have came back. You may have broke your celibacy for them. You could have entertained them. You could have got upset about something that they did, so on and so forth. You understand me? I want you to realize why this is happening. You don't get, God is not going to punish you for certain things that you entertain. So say this person comes back and you entertain them in one way, shape, or form. You nice to them, you talking to them cool, you're not holding certain things that they did to you previously against them. You allowing you to start on a clear slate, in a sense. And when I say that, because you already know who they are, because they shown you that shit, right? So therefore, there's no argument, because you already know what type of pattern that they had. If that past person, when you was with them, was cheating with other individuals, you know that they still going to do the same. If this past person lied to you or about you when it came to little petty things, they gonna do it again. Oh, this person is entertaining multiple feminines or masculines. Oh, they still got that same pattern to them. The only difference is that you a different you than you was when you previously were with that individual. So even if you caved in and broke your celibacy for them, instead of feeling bad about you, feel happy because you're not allowing that sex to keep you restrained again. See, back in the day, as soon as you gave them your body, they had certain lineage. You understand? They had certain leadership or ownership over you, in a sense. You was giving too much power to them when you allowed and invited them in. Now for you, the test was to see what you was going to do. Yes, you broke your celibacy for somebody who was a so-so ass individual, but you're not taking as long as you was previously to see these things about these individuals. You understand me? See, before, it took you 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, so on and so forth, for you to finally acknowledge that this person is pausing your progression, that you're not prospering, that this person is not, before you had so much hope, you was going based upon the potential that they could be, not the things that you were seeing. So therefore, some of the times you was an illusion when it came to them. You understand me? You was taking this person in, seeing that they was hurting you, abandoning you, mistreating you, using you, disrespecting you, belittling you, whatever the case may be, right? They was blocking you from being you. See, as you started to walk away from them originally, you started to grow. You started to realize that it had nothing to do with you on why they treated you the way that they treated you. It had everything to do with them, what they experienced before they even came and crossed paths with you. You understand me? So before you took it so personal, why nobody was loving you? Why nobody was a good friend of you? Why nobody was protecting you? But at the same time, you was asking all these questions about other individuals, but you wasn't acknowledging what you do to you too. You asking who's protecting you, your ass wasn't. Because you could have been abused when you was a child. You could have been neglected, disrespected again, the whole nine, right? But when you was a child, you couldn't help that. You had to, again, you in a sense was helpless. You had to go based upon the person who was raising you, right? Now you got older, you raised your vibrations, now you get to choose a different life. So why would you put the same inner child, because at the end of the day, that's who you are. So why would you put your inner child through that same thing again, that same pain again, that same thing that you took all that time to detox out your system? Why would you volunteer yourself to that again? Huh? See, what if I told you that God has you face to face with these individuals? Because not only are you facing the past, but you facing the past you too. That now God wants to see when you're on the opposite end of the cycle, what moves are you going to do? Are you going to allow this person to, again, lie to you and you believe them when you know the truth? Are you going to have this person come in and have you work against your intuition and discernment, these signs and synchronicities that God's been showing you? Are you going to allow one little hiccup to dictate everything that you work so hard to produce? See, a lot of the times you're too hard on you, babies. And I mean that. You feel like you failed yourself because you entertained that person. You feel like you failed yourself because certain things was prospering for you. Now your profit may have slowed down for you. Whole time you ain't realizing that God, you looking at a negative when that was divinely aligned. You understand me? So again, when the past presents itself, God wants to see what you're going to do. Are you going to try to be over the top hateful to those individuals just because you had certain emotions running through you? Or are you going to finally see it clear? See, I want you to realize that some of you who broke your celibacy, you starting to realize that those feelings for that person is no longer there. This is the person that when you used to sleep with them, everything, you used to cater to them, used to give everything to them, used to always acknowledge them, put that on a pedestal as they giving you certain pain, whatever the case may be, right? CO9, chosen ones. You sat there and really, I want you to realize that you sat there and really put your feelings to the side for other individuals. You wasn't acknowledging you. You wasn't protecting you. You wasn't catering to you. You wasn't buying gifts for you, but you expected somebody else to do it for you. See, God's going to have you be face to face with the past person because that's you facing the past you too. Because your vibrations had to be similar whether or not you was acting like that or you was accepting that shit based upon the fact that that person was aligned with you. So what are you going to choose, chosen ones? Huh? Stop being hard on yourself. See, this is how you know you have growth. Because those people that, again, if you broke your celibacy or you slept with somebody that you knew didn't have good intentions, how did you feel afterwards, right? At that moment, you could have felt bad, like, dang, I should have held out. I should have held on to that. Okay, I understand that. I respect that. Because you're taking accountability for your actions. But there's some of you that's acting like everything's ending for you. Whole time it's not. That was to show you that you finally got that person out your system. Because again, soon as they would sleep with you, you would go back tripping. You would go back over and extending yourself to them. You was over giving yourself to them. You was putting yourself down on behalf of them. You understand me? So now that the fact that you broke your celibacy or you slept with them again, God wants to see and show you that you no longer stuck or under some type of illusion from them, that you learned your lesson, and that half the time that shit may not have even been good, so your ass won't even mess around and do it again. You understand me? I want you to realize this test, chosen ones. See, God wants to see, are you going to start being hard on you, talking bad upon you? Are you going to start doubting you, disrespecting you based upon one little thing that you decided to do? Because if you do, that's no different than what those past people did to you too. So therefore, you didn't heal from them. You became them. You understand? See, everything that they going to show you is everything you already know who they are and what they are. You understand me? What they going to do, the patterns that they had to them too. I'm trying to tell you, chosen ones, do not get this misconstrued. You out here looking at the same situation because the same thing that you just overcome is going to get presented again. That person, that circumstance. God wants to see, are you going to remain confident? Are you going to allow one little small hiccup dictate your whole future, your whole establishment, your whole foundation? Are you going to allow that to have you tripping, where you giving up on you, where you talking bad about you, just like those individuals that you previously was connected to chose to do? No. Everything is getting presented. You understand me? You are not the same person that you was when you was in that situation. So if your funds have started to slow down, instead of looking at it negative, feeling like you getting again in trouble for certain things that you did, whole time, what if God had money slowing down because he wanted you to recharge and relax? Because it's about to be tax season, takeoff time. You understand me? This your season for you to finally collect. So what if God told you to sit down for a moment, recharge, think about certain things that you want to do? You talking about you wanted to exercise, but you ain't never had the time to do it. Now all of a sudden, guess what? God's going to have a little break in your schedule where you ain't going to have nothing between this time and that time to get that grind in and do the things that you said that you wanted to do, but you kept declining because you said that you ain't had no time to do it. God made time for you then. You talking about you want to focus on your purpose. You want to start your own business, but you content and complacent in somebody else's establishment. What's God going to do? Cut hours? Have those people start switching up on you, where now you forced to go within you and see what you have the ability to do so you can start to make certain moves, see chosen ones. Why you always viewing it negative? Huh? Why you think, see, you got to get that way out of thinking. Why you always feel like you getting bashed? Why you always think that you not going to get rewarded and that you are being, no. Everything that you asked for is getting presented to you. You said that you was tired, so God, what did he do? Sat there and put a little bit of time in your schedule. Now you complaining, talking about certain money that's not coming in, not even realizing that you recharging, so now you're going to have more energy to get certain things accomplished. And see, it's all about perspective. You understand me? You talking about, man, I was just trying to make a move. Then all of a sudden, certain things start messing up. Your credit could have went down a few points. Certain things that was in collections could have got presented. Certain, again, finances stopped coming in as fast as they was. Why? Because you was about to make a decision very quickly. You was about to, again, put yourself in a position that you would have been praying to get out of again. So therefore, God was like, nah, I'm even going to have them have the ability to get themselves in it. See? Chosen ones, you would have settled. Think about those places that you was viewing that you wanted to move to. You was praying to God like, this place that I want. They have everything that I need. All of a sudden, it fell through. And you started to see certain things. You started hearing about that location on the news. You start hearing about certain break-ins or calls of drama and all these other things that was happening that could have happened to you had you made that move. So now you seeing that God spared you too. See, chosen ones, why you always thinking about it negative? Huh? Why? I want you to realize this. Everything that you asked for is currently getting presented. Because it's not happening in the form that you want, you starting to trip a little bit. You starting to feel down about you and moves that you make, not even realizing that the whole time, even if you feel like you physically standing still, your mind is rising. You're elevating, you still moving. Even if your body is physically, you feeling stuck in a certain circumstance, you seeing certain things differently. So you gotta realize that you still growing, chosen ones. See, I want you to think about when you plant that seed, right? See, when you plant that seed grows in that location. It don't move unless you dig it up and you take that risk to move it into another location or take that shit with you. But I digress. See, I want you to realize some of the times you got to plant that seed and you got to be patient. See, certain seasons is going to come. See, you plant that seed not knowing, not ready to eat it right away, right? You plant that seed, and I want you to realize what happens when you first plant seeds, chosen ones. I want you to think about a plant, right? First, you got to prepare the ground. So you got to sit there and cut out a patch of your grass. You got to weed whack them up and down. You got to pull certain weeds up. You got to sit there and rake it and hoe it. All these different things, right, to prepare for the things that you ready to grow, right? See, I want you to realize the beginning of the cycle, the beginning of the story, it always looks ugly, chosen ones. You're not seeing the bigger picture. You know what it can be. You know what the package says it's going to bloom into. But when you first get it, that's not what gets presented to you. It gets a seed. So when you first start off, it looks a little dusty, a little dirty. You understand me? From the outside looking in, people with green grass, they out here making certain comments about your things, talking about shorty got a patch of grass in their shit, they got a patch of dirt. They talking all this big boys things about you, right? From the outside looking in, they don't know the moves that you do. From the outside looking in, they just see a piece of something that's missing from you, right? Okay. See, when I say you got to prepare that foundation, chosen ones, that starts with your mind. When you start being confident about yourself, when you start speaking affirmations about yourself, when you start wanting to dress up for yourself and not doing it for somebody else, when you're not out here, see, I done said this previously, chosen ones, a lot of you want to look all cute, lotion up your body, get your hair and nails done too, but you're not doing it because that's what you want to do. You're doing it because other people acknowledge you or notice you or compliment you, or this is their preference and you want their attention, so therefore you do it. You understand me? See, a lot of the times you ain't realized why you was doing the things that you was doing. You was just doing it. You understand me? So I want you to realize you had to prep that foundation. Just like when somebody from the outside looking in, they looking at you, they can feel like your finances is limited. They can feel like your body ain't all of that. They can feel like your clothes ain't all of that. Whatever the case may be, from the outside looking in, they think that you in lack. Whole time they ain't even realize that you was planting your come up. You understand me? That longevity came with you. So when they was in the inside looking outside, they ain't offer no assistance to you. They just seeing you out in the middle of the rain, shine, whatever the case may be. You was out there putting that work in. So I want you to realize, again, equivalent to you starting to plant, it's going to start off dirty. It's going to start off ugly. It's going to start off looking unfavored, untouched, undid, whatever the case may be, from the outside looking in. But you know that's necessary for you to get that foundation together in order for that seed that you plant to actually start producing certain things then, right? So chosen ones, I want you to realize that you feeling like you took 10 steps back because you entertained somebody from your past, or you may have reacted, whatever the case may be. But I want you to realize that the fact that you caught on instantly, you're not the same person that you was when you initially knew them. Give yourself credit, chosen ones. You understand me? Because again, you're not even realizing or celebrating the small successes that you have. The fact that you even acknowledging that they are nowhere near your path. When you start to acknowledge that they don't have the ability to be what you want to receive, and you cool with that, let them do you. Do them while you do you too. See, chosen ones, I'm trying to tell you. You understand me? So the first thing was you had to get your mind right. You had to build that foundation. You had to, when people say, oh, who you getting cute for, you had to mention your name in that statement. You had to let them know that you're doing what you do for you, nobody else. You understand me? That you sitting there wanting to invest in yourself, that you protecting yourself, that you focus on your health, your mind, body, and soul was aligning to. You got that foundation right. See, from the outside looking in, they ain't see you doing nothing. They ain't know that you was going to produce. See, you set that foundation, but they ain't see no plants in there. They ain't see no flowers in sight. They ain't know that it's not going to grow overnight, that it's going to take certain time. But you was going to be eating for life, seed chosen ones. When they seen you getting your mental health together, you started isolating to elevate. When you started, again, staying to yourself, not telling everybody everything. When you started really investing in you, being aligned with God and the path that he has for you, that was you getting that foundation. See, from the outside, they ain't see no finances. They ain't see no flashiness. So therefore, they thought that you wasn't abundant. That's where they messed up at. You understand me? Now, as this progressed, right? As soon as you got that foundation, you plant that seed. What's that equivalent to? You setting your mind to it, realizing that once you make your mind up, you already made it. All that abundance, everything that's aligning your path, now you about to receive. You understand me? So I want you to realize, chosen one, you planted that seed within yourself. Whether or not you took a risk and moved out that house, whether or not you took a risk and quit that job to building yourself, whether you took a risk and stepped out of that relationship, now you finding and restarting all over again, whether or not that's you starting to exercise, whether or not that's you starting to eat healthy and right, that's whether that's you complimenting yourself, you taking yourself out on dates, you doing so on and so forth, right? You started planting those seeds. See, again, from the outside looking in, they seen that patch of grass, they looked at it like, yo, shorty's growing a bunch of weeds. They ain't see what God already showed you, that package that God gave you a quick glimpse and told you what disclosed in it. You understand me? So I want you to realize God showed you a quick image of what you can be, what you're supposed to be, what you can do. He presented a happier version of you, a prospering version of you, an abundant version of you. He showed you a quick glimpse, told you the path that you need to take to get that, and that's what you did. But from the outside looking in, they ain't know what you was planning. They was making certain assumptions about your things, right? See, chosen ones, you planted that seed, so that business that you ain't know what you was going to do, how you was going to feed your crew, how that income was going to come in, but God told you to make that move, and what did you do? Listen to him. See, you ain't know why God told you to walk away from so-and-so. You ain't realized that they was pausing your progression. You ain't realized that they was speaking foul things into your life. You ain't realized that there was certain karmic consequences that came with them, right? Okay, cool. You planted certain seeds. Again, you listen to what God told you to do. See something about it. You don't just plant that seed and walk away. What you gotta do, chosen ones? You gotta make sure the sun hit it. That's that photosynthesis. See, you gotta make sure that you water it. You gotta make sure that you weeding out certain things that's surrounding it. You gotta make sure that certain pests ain't getting to it. You gotta speak life into it. See, something about, you know, when you got plants inside your house. See, I don't know about y'all, but my house is planted out. I love house plants, right? See, one thing you know about house plants, when you sing to them or you speak to them, you start seeing them grow abundantly, real quick, right? See, when you planted that seed, some people wanted you to walk away. And when you ain't see nothing growing, you thought it was a dud. You thought it was done. You thought it was dumb. Whatever the case may be, whole time you ain't realized that it would have grown had you actually gave it some sun. See, that sun represents you. Because you a beam of light, chosen one. So therefore, you got to pay attention and actually look over the work that you try and do. So if you got a business that you want to start, that's that seed that you plant. What you got to do? You got to start writing out certain things that you want to do. Certain moves that you need to make. Who you need to do it. What you need to get it done. Whatever the case may be, right? You got to produce that sun. So you got to give attention to it. See, something about plants, right? If you speak to them and life to them, sing to them, they start to grow. So the same about you. You had to speak affirmations too in order for that seed to grow. So when you planted it, got that foundation settled, put that seed, then you sat there and start watering it. See, you may have even watered it with your tears, but that shit still got water, right? See, you could have sat there and took your lash just to water that, but it got water, right? You may have to stretch that out a little bit. Some seasons may have been more rain than the others, but you made sure that you gave it attention. You started speaking to the plant too, like, oh, look at you starting to bloom. Look at you, I see a little plant starting to pull through. You start speaking affirmations to it, singing to it. You're going to have to do that to you too. So every area that you start, whether or not it's the beginning, the middle, or you about to receive all that abundance, or you're receiving the abundance, you need to be acknowledging it, giving affirmations to it, speaking life into it. You're going to have to pay attention to it. You understand me? So again, chosen ones, after you planted that seed, you start watering it with your attention. You started being excited. Once you made your mind up, you already made it. See, every time certain weeds will pop up, what did you do? You sat there and removed them. That's equivalent to you seeing certain people that don't have the same energy as you, and you separating from these individuals. Whether or not that's a job position, whether or not that's that relationship, whether or not that's that friendship, whether or not it's a family dynamic, whatever the case may be, you had to pay attention, and you seen certain weeds that was going to take over that seed that you planted. So what did you do? You had to sit there and get in the dirt again, out in the elements, start picking them away from your harvest, your fruit. You understand me? So chosen ones, as you started weeding out certain individuals, that means people who trying to pursue you as you are raising your vibrations, there's still going to be lower level people that's going to test you just to see if you can see through what they showing you, just to see if you're going to use your intuition, or you're going to allow them to dictate you, sit there and have you doubt your gifts and abilities, certain signs and synchronicities that God's presenting to you. See, you're going to have to see. That's equivalent to those weeds popping up and they try to blend in like they the real thing. Oh nah. You gotta get them pests out too. That means anybody who had certain demons connected to them, anybody who had certain dark, dirty, trifling, disrespectful ass ways, you had to get them out of your place. You had to get them out of your face. You had to protect yourself. So that's that prayer, right? That's you asking God, God, I ask you to remove anybody who's not a part of my True Soul Tribe crew. Anybody who's wishing ill intentions on me, I ask you to remove them. I ask you to allow me to see certain things clearly, so on and so forth. That's equivalent to that pest spray that they have in the store. You spray it over your blessings, right? That's that prayer. You praying over your blessings, all the business that you booming, relationships that you about to get into, babies that's about to be produced, whatever the case may be. That's you planting. You planted that seed, and you spraying that protection on it. That's your prayers, right? You talking to God, the divine, whether or not that's God, Allah, Jah, so on and so forth. See, I tell you, don't get caught up in that name, right? Why? Because when we are describing that person, not even person, when we describing that energy, we talking about the same thing, right? If I ask you, okay, well, who's God to you? Who is God? Okay, well, who was alive? Okay, who was Jah? they end up saying the same thing, right? See, just like somebody may call you, your name may be Raymond. Other people may call you Raymond. Other people may call you Ray Ray. But when they sit there and describe that person, they realize that they talking about the same thing. So chosen ones, you had to pray. You had to get your abundance up. You had to sit there and get your protection up. You had to ask God to see through so you can identify what's really from your seed that you planted and what's something else that's trying to cause damage. See, you started to see that. You weeded certain things out, chosen one. I'm proud of you. See, again, seasons that came and gone. You sat there and planted that in the wintertime, but you had to wait for certain seasons to arrive in order for you to see certain things come alive, right? So just like when you plant a seed, unless you buy it from the store and it's already growing, and that takes some risk with that too, because you don't know what they used in order to produce that too. Whatever the case may be, certain risk comes with certain things if you try to do it quick, right? But you planted that seed from the beginning. You heard me? So therefore, certain things are starting to bloom for you. See, when you started to see certain things come out of that soil, you was excited. Your finances start booming again. Certain people wanted to pursue you. You start getting confidence. You start buying things for yourself again. And all of a sudden, after that bloom, you ain't see nothing else. So then you start doubting. You start feeling like that seed is a dud. You start questioning yourself where you messed up. Whole time you ain't realized it's doing what it's supposed to do. See, above the soil, you may not see all these things that's producing, but if you look beneath the soil, you see that it has well intact roots. And you know what roots is required in order for certain things to grow. See, I ain't talking about those roots that those so-so ass individuals try to do in order to try to mess with certain people's souls. No, I'm talking about certain roots that had to be planted. So again, during that time period, certain things, you seen that tree come up, that bloom come up, whatever the case may be, and you got excited, but then all of a sudden it seemed like it stopped growing. Some of you are currently right there where you like, hey yo, what did I do? It was just growing fast. Now all of a sudden it's not producing. Now all of a sudden it don't have this. Now it don't have that. Whole time if you Googled it, meaning go to God, you'll realize that it's not that season yet. So the more that you wait, what you gonna do? If the more that you water it, more that you provide sunshine and you get those weeds from around it, you gonna see certain things start to fall through. You know how you see those little blooms before that fruit gets produced? It looks like a weed flower whole time. That's a tomato whole time. That's a pepper, whatever the case may be. Again, you're gonna have to view yourself confidently, chosen ones. Don't allow these people to project bad energy. Because, again, from the outside looking in, they could feel like there's no movement. From the outside looking in, they could be asking you, what are you doing? From the outside looking in, they could be laughing at you because you devote all your time and put your energy into this to produce certain things that they don't see producing for you yet. But you had to put that work in. Now, I'm telling you, soon as that one bloom comes through, the other bloom's gonna come too. Now, next thing you know it, you out here smiling from ear to ear because you see that you had the ability to produce your own food. That now you don't never have to go to the store again to buy this because you done planted that seed and you patiently waited for it. Yes, it may took a few seasons. Yes, it may took a little bit of time. But at the same time, you ain't gotta waste no more time standing in line for those things that you grew yourself. Chosen ones, I'm trying to tell you right now, don't talk bad about yourself. Don't talk disrespectful about yourself. Don't feel like you're not making no progression because you started seeing things speed up and then all of a sudden it paused again. No, you're waiting for all that harvest to come in. God showed you through that little bloom that you did the right things in order to have certain things get produced. So therefore, you keep doing what you're doing, and what you're going to do is mess around and get everything that you wanted. You understand me? So if you took one step back, it's okay. But you can't be comfortable. You can't be complacent in the old ways. You understand me? So if there was a past person again that popped up and you entertained them for a quick moment and you realize you don't feel the same about them, somebody who once had your mind gone, had you going against you, is now somebody that you choose to remove from around you because you don't feel the same around this individual like you used to. You understand me? That same person that you used to be willing to give your whole world to, now you realizing that this person was just taken from you but wasn't reciprocating that energy back to you. See, certain things is getting cleared up, chosen ones. So have your confidence. You understand me? I want you to realize that. I want you to realize that you are not the same person as you was previously. What are you going to see? The same situation, but how you feel about you is very important during that situation too. You understand me? God wants to see, are you going to allow this one little hiccup to have you doubt everything about you? Talking so bad about you again. You sitting there doubting yourself because you see this one bloom, but you like, man, the harvest didn't come in. Now you feel like all those seasons that you put in was for nothing, and it wasn't. Those seasons of celibacy meant nothing because you end up sleeping with the same nobody. No. You had to get that shit out your system. Now, once you slept with them, you seen that you wasn't missing. You understand me? Nothing was missing. You are really disgusted with them. Or you disgusted with yourself because you went back to them when you could have been inviting somebody else to see chosen ones. I'm telling you. Now, you entertain that old person, and what's going to happen is your new person is going to get presented. And God wants to see what you're going to do. Or you're going to be scared to turn this old person down because you feel like you got them back hype about you. Now you got that, open that door back up to that individual. That's almost like you hitting around asking somebody, oh, what you about to do? Whole time you want them out of your shit, but you scared to tell that individual. Oh, nah. You don't say it mean. But how my aunt always told me, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get your ass up out of here. You heard me? So now you entertain the past people, and you're not the same person that you was when you was with that person, because had you been the old you would have sat there and gave everything up to that individual again who hurt you. But that's not the case. You see that that was a mistake. I shouldn't have did that. I opened the door up a little bit. I let them in knowing damn well they don't know how to take the hit to get their exit, right? So now you're going to have to go against the empathy in you where you scared to hurt this person's feelings, or you feel like, dang, you did something to him, because now you speaking your truth, realizing I ain't mean to let you back in. I'm washing my hands with you. That was your karma and consequence. But that's also your lesson, because God wants to see what you're going to do, because when that person had other opportunities and other options, they kept them all open too. They still was entertaining certain past, new partners, so on and so forth, while they was entertaining you too. But the difference between you and them is you're not going to hold on to somebody where you don't see anything producing. You're not going to hold on to that hope that they're going to change. You're not going to hold on to that person if they got little nasty ass ways. You're not going to hold on to that person if they still spiteful, they still evil, if they still full of ego, if they still chasing certain finances, but their body ain't right, their mind ain't right, so on and so. No. You hear me? So give yourself credit, chosen ones, but you about to get real uncomfortable. If you call yourself trying be nice, keep the peace, whole time you not peaceful inside. If you try to keep the peace among certain people that you connected to, whole time with you keeping a peace, you are disrupting the peace within you. You're going to have to make that decision. God wants to see what you're going to do. You're going to allow them people to step on you, or you're going to make certain moves, not chosen ones. It's the way that you handle it. So you telling them like, listen, I see we crossed that line again, but that's not something that I want to do. You know, it was fun for that little moment, but I see that we still making different moves. Whatever the case may be, it's how you handle it. You can handle it like them, ghost them, but you know different than them too. So therefore, guess what's going to happen? Now you put yourself back in that karmic cycle, and now somebody that you interested in is now going to ghost your ass too. Why? Because you didn't stand up to that past person and tell them that you ain't want to be with them, that they not your type again, that you don't feel that spark with them, that you are interested in something new that's coming in. See, you going to have to speak up, chosen ones. You heard me. What you going to do? Because you're going to get put in that same cycle that those other individuals were in when they were with you. And God wants to see, are you going to make a different decision than those individuals did with you? Come on now. You got this. So don't feel bad, but you can't be complacent. Don't feel bad, but you can't stay stuck in that situation. you're going to be forced out. So if you ain't listening about walking away from that person, oh, God going to have you walk away from them. You're going to be forced to. You understand me? Oh, you still at that job where they don't appreciate you? God's going to push your ass out. But don't get upset, because you already know that what comes with that. That past person, you sit there and entertain them again, all of a sudden they seem like they playing the same games. Why would you trip when you already know what it is? You already seen certain patterns that that person had, so therefore, why are you going to allow them to get in your head? You know who they are. You done seen it many times. So why, when they actually show you their true selves again, now you allowing them to have a major impact on you? No. They was a cheater back then. They're going to be a cheater here too. The only difference is they're going to have it presented to you differently. Or they praying that you still the old you. No, you not. That's why you learned your lesson. Even if you did something where you felt like you moved backwards, the fact that you caught yourself slipping before your ass fully fell, you have to give yourself credit. You understand me? Because back then, you ain't realized when you was slipping, when you was tripping. Your ass just kept hitting and hitting. You just, no, now you like, hey, yo, I'm starting to slip up a little bit. Let me catch myself. You did. Give yourself credit. You understand me? I'm trying to tell you. Great things is a line for you chosen ones, but you're going to have to allow them to flow to you and through you. Now, listen, I'm going to get up off of here. I'm going to start doing my lives later in the evening time. Please remember, I always post my lives on YouTube. All right? Now, I'll be back tomorrow as well, same time. But please remember, I'll never reach out to you for a reading, because you got to be ready to receive it, all right? Because I ain't sugarcoating nothing. I don't use no cards, no disrespect for those who do. I ain't using no crystal ball, no disrespect for those who do. Everything that I tell you is based upon the fact that God tells me to tell you. So you don't got to tell me nothing about yourself. You understand me? I'm going to look at you and tell you about your past, your current, and your future as well. I'm going to tell you that's your true person or karmic. I'm going to tell you what they plotting on you, what they intend to do, what you do to you too, what cycles connected to you, whatever the case may be. You understand me? So I love you. Alright? If you need me, the link's in my bio, babies, okay? I love you. Y'all continue to be great. I'm going to upload this live on YouTube. Love you. Be great.